Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Mulyani. In here, I would like to share you about impact of large-scale testing test preparation. Large-scale testing has been used more and more in educational system across countries. The result of this test are used to make inferences on students' proficiency based on their performance on a sample of items drawn from a whole content domain of knowledge. This result from test scores or test performance are used as indicator of students' academic achievement and are often directly related to a variety of high-stakes decisions. From students obtaining degrees and academic advancement to teacher attaining professional certification and promotion to school board fundings. Large-scale testing has affected what and who teachers teach and especially what and how students learn. The next one is about test preparation design. There are three key terms to define preparing students to take tests, including coaching, teaching to the test, and more commonly test preparation. The first one is coaching. Coaching is applied to commercial program operated as extracurricular activities that students participate in outside of school and refers to short-term instruction targeted to improve students' test performance on a particular examination and does not necessarily have the aim to improve their academic skills. The term coaching usually have a negative connotation as students can be coached to maximize their test performance, but may not have a corresponding increase in their academic abilities first. Coaching as a term is often used and studied in educational measurement field, which examines whether and to what extent coaching might influence students' test score. Next is teaching. Teaching to the test is often used in school setting and is usually discussed in the curriculum literature. A narrow definition of teaching to the test implies that teacher instruction focuses narrowly on actual tasks and items with an aim to improve students' test score, or simplify item teaching. However, a broad definition may mean that teacher build their instruction around the learning outcomes, which are sampled by a test in order to enhance students' knowledge, capability, and performance both in test and in real terms in the classroom and beyond. And the last is test preparation can be applied to context both inside and outside school activities and is most often used in research. It is more natural and inclusive as is defined as a variety of activities which review and develop capacities or content sampled by tests and practice testing skill in attempt to improve students' test score. And the next one is about test preparation examine. Test preparation has been studied in a range of three specific areas. The first one is teaching to the test and measurement driver instruction in the field of curriculum, because such practice may narrow curricula. The second one is test impact and consequential validity in the field of educational measurement, because of its effects on test courses and test score used. And the last is wordswork in the field of language testing because of its influence on language teaching and learning. Studies on test preparation across this field were rooted in a common concern: the influence of test preparation on the accuracy of students' test scores as an indicator of their academic competency, or theoretically speaking, and the influences of test preparation on the validity of test score. A according to Mesick's 1996, has stated that if test preparation emphasizes the instruction of test avoidance strategies, students might answer some test items correctly using test avoidance strategies rather than their actual knowledge. Test avoidance is defined as the ability to respond advantageous to items containing clues and therefore to obtain credit without the ability, skill, proficiency, or knowledge of the subject matter being tested. Strategies include, for example, choosing the longest answer amongst multiple choice distractors. When distractors are of equal length, avoiding any distractors with the words all or every, ruling out as many alternatives as possible, and then guessing from the ones that remain. In this case, students' increases scored which cannot represent the equivalent improvement of students' ability, proficiency, or knowledge, and this type of test preparation threatens the interpretation and use of the increases test scores. And the next one is test preparation pedagogical implications. Since the 1980s, educational researchers have proposed principles to examine the test preparation appropriateness from two perspectives. You can see in the table, there are theory-based and practice-based. Teachers can use this principle to guide their test preparation practices. A theory-based principle can be considered in two ways. The first one is applying an evaluate continuum to test preparation activities ranging from ethnical to unethnical behavior, and the second one is creating a set of specific standard for evaluating the appropriateness of these activities in terms of professional ethics. It can be seen from table that since the 1980s, theory-based principles have been developed to include more concrete dimension to evaluate test preparation activities. Chapter 2006 specifies the following criteria. The first one is validity requires that test preparation improves the validity of test score interpretation. The second one is academic ethics requires test preparation activities to be consistent with ethical standards of the educational profession. And next is fairness means that all test takes should have equal access to preparation opportunities. The next one is educational value means test preparation should improve both test takers' score and their content knowledge. And then the next is transferability. Transferability requires test preparation to teach test takes skills that can be used in different examination situations. One concern of this theory-based principle is practical. Classroom teachers have complained that these standards are too general to allow in judging their own preparation activity. Therefore, practice-based principle of evaluating test preparation have been proposed to help a teacher focus their test preparation on curriculum instruction or learning outcomes rather than test items. Turner 2009 identified 5 types of test preparation practices that can support learning and language development. The first one is teaching to the content domain conferred by the curriculum. The second one is using a variety of assessment. The third is reviewing or teaching test-taking strategies. The next is promoting students' motivation, and the last is managing time and frequency of test preparation. Turner also suggests practical teaching activities for each. For example, teachers could create opportunities for students to present their understanding of the content knowledge in different forms and contexts, such as independent work, oral presentation, and written essay. When teaching students test talking skills, teacher might review previous year's test papers to analyze test requirements and help students to become familiar with the knowledge that they are required to know and understand, including task formats. When planning a timeline for test preparation activities, teachers are advised to consider test requirements at regular intervals throughout the school year and to schedule test review activities in the weeks approaching the test. Teachers can align their test preparation practices with both the theory-based and the practice-based principle in judging the opportunities of their own test preparation activity. For example, teachers often instruct students to manage their time for test tasks as one common test-taking strategy to ensure test tasks are completed within a designated time limit. This task preparation activity can reduce the possibility of having insufficient time to complete test tasks owing to not managing time well. It has been found that students prefer the teacher's diagnosis of their weakness in specific language skills, for example, in pronunciation, in speaking, vocabulary, in reading and writing, and so on, and the needed opportunities for participation, questioning, and practicing language skills in test preparation classes as they do in their regular class. Research believes a teacher's instruction that aim to improve students' English competence could also contribute to better test performance. These test preparation activities that emphasize general English competence improvement rather than focusing only on coaching test performance were shown to be associated with students' higher test scores in English language proficiency test. To conclude, further empirical investigations will shed more light on pedagogical implications that enable teachers to perform appropriate test preparation activities. That's all for me. The next material will be delivered by my friends. Thank you.